बिरला सर.
यस सर.
Yes sir, shall we start?
आप देख लीजिए सर, जैसा मेंबर्स अगर और इन वेटिंग है तो वी कैन वेट
No, sir. Sir, it will go on increasing now. So at
ओके.
least we can start, sir.
तो लेट निपुण जी आल्सो, आई थिंक ही मस्ट बी ज्वाइनिंग, तो एक 2 मिनट उनको कॉल कर लेते हैं, विल साथ में ज्वाइन करेंगे वो.
No issue, sir. No issue. अच्छा, we will be carrying on simultaneously.
या इट मे, मतलब इट विल नॉट लाइक मैं करूंगा, वो साइमल्टेनियसली भी हो सकता है.
Okay, okay.
वो गिव मी अ कॉल टू हिम, राइट?
No issue, sir. No issue. No issue. Okay. रोमिल भाई,
તો પછી તમે for the welcome speech and introduction to this faculty.
thank you रोमिल भाई. Welcome Mahadev ji and welcome Nipun bhai. Sir, welcome sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Sir, basically this is the very important lecture, and sir, we heard lots of things about this. We heard earlier Mahadev ji for RERA, sir. But on that day only, sir, I was having something in my mind that how to listen Nipun bhai on seminars. So your sir expertise in IBC, and still that seminar is not organized, sir. But parallelly, sir, it is very frequently heard from number of members, sir, that they are using very beautifully this tool of the very importantly drafted the law, and they are using the use of it and getting the information from the departments. And it is a very beautiful law, and some of the members are, sir, using it in a beautiful way. So, sir, it was the basic motto behind this, that let's have some seminar on it, and let everybody come to know, sir, that how we can use this Right to Information Act in our day-to-day practice. And sometimes, sir, it is very well known to every chartered accountant, sir, that we are not having certain information or certain key information, and due to that we are facing, or sometimes we are losing even the cases. So the strike was there in the mind, and sir, we requested you, and both you accepted the invitation. So I am thankful to you on behalf of all my study circle, sir. And so far as introduction is concerned, sir, Mahadev ji, we have already heard him in the month of March regarding RERA. And sir, when we were listening to you, sir, we decided that now tomorrow onward we will start the practice of RERA, but that mind is there, it is just in mind only. But on that day, sir, after when you left, sir, we few people met, and everybody was thinking and discussing that yes, it is a very good area to move. But I think, sir, few more seminars are required to just boost up the moral to start the practice, because after the youngsters are better position to start it. But anyway, sir, so Mahadev Birla ji is also our member, chartered accountant member, and he is mainly practicing in RERA. And he served so many lectures with the so many fraternities, and especially our chartered accountant members. And it is very important and very lucky to have listened him, because his delivery is point to point and always encouraging, and we have the experience of the same thing while we heard him during RERA. If I will go to read down all his introduction, sir, it will take much more time. So I welcome Mr. Mahadev ji on the platform, and same way Nipun bhai Sanghvi is also chartered accountant and advocate. He is also well-known practicing and very well-known advocate in Gujarat High Court. He is practicing in some another different high courts also for different matters. He did his FCA, CS, LLB, LLM, IFRS. He is working with ICAI, ICSI, ICMA, this IBC professional, and hardly there is any day left, sir, when we are not having the WhatsApp in the mobile that you are going to deliver lecture somewhere. So we heard you somewhere, sir, in the institute seminar. So really, sir, we are very much thankful to you for sparing your time. And I request all the members to spare their time very cautiously behind this seminar. And we are definitely going to enrich our knowledge in such a way that it is 100% going to help us out during our course of practice. So with you, this very brief and nominal introduction, I present both the speakers and my friends before our forum to carry on the seminar ahead. Romil bhai, I request Mahadev ji and Nipun ji, please, the way in jointly or as per convenience, sir, we can start the session. Please, sir.
Thank you, Chawda ji. Good evening, friends. And thank you, Chawda ji. Thank you all, office bearer of the Gandhinagar CPE Study Circle, inviting me again second time on this platform to address and to have a discussion. I would not say this is I am going to give a lecture, but here we will learn together. Earlier we learned the RERA. Now we will learn the RTA from your experience also, and little bit my knowledge and experience also. So it is not a kind of lecture. We will have an interactive session. According to this time permits, we will have a question answer also, right? So once again, thank you all the office bearers for inviting us to. And in this today's topic, me along with my good friend Nipunji Singhvi, both are going to discuss on some important aspects of the RTI, Right to Information Act. So I will cover some basic aspects of this RTI. Then Nipunji, as usual, he is a master into this law, so he will explain the legal part, which I am also learning from him day by day, daily. So legal part, basic part I will explain. And friends, all you are aware, but this act is not only new, and by the name itself, हम समझ सकते हैं कि this is the Right to Information Act. तो अगर एक सिंपल भाषा में इसको समझा जाए, तो एक जनरल कॉमन आदमी का एक अधिकार है कि इंफॉर्मेशन लेने का. अब क्या अधिकार है, क्या इंफॉर्मेशन ले सकते हैं, किस तरीके से ले सकते हैं, वो सारी चीजें हम आज इस सेशन में देखेंगे. इसके अलावा ये जो राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट को हम प्रोफेशनल्स कैसे अपने क्लाइंट्स के बेनिफिट के लिए, इवन समटाइम इन आवर पर्सनल लाइफ आल्सो, हाउ वी कैन यूज दैट, वी विल discuss in this session, right? So first beginning I will start. I think share screen is
allowed, sir.
It is disabled.
Madhuri, allow me to thank the officers. I thank the Gandhinagar Study Circle and especially my good friend Chawda ji for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this topic. In fact, as he told, this is now a tool, and now I would also say it has become a weapon, because today recently only we have heard that Infosys income tax portal issue has come into surface only because of RTI. Some 4,500 crores spent and now the portal not working is again a very horrendous task, that we are paying taxes and the tax website is only not working. Forget about other sites. So this RTI is not only now, I would say, a tool, but it has become a weapon in our hands to question the government. And today we will discuss some of the issues whereby not spending too much money in the courts. By using RTI, we can bring all the things onto the surface, which will force all the governmental authorities to fall in line. And today we will also discuss some of the few areas and some RTI judgments, which I think that every chartered accountant must know, whether he is practicing in income tax, GST or any other law. These RTI judgments will help us to equip ourselves how to deal with the procedural part, and how, if the government authority is not giving any answers, we can hold them accountable. And this RTI will actually form the basis of going to court in future. And today, if suppose Chawda ji applies for RTI, gets some information, I need not again apply in RTI and get that information. On the basis of his reply, I can also go and file a court case against any authority. So that is the best part of RTI, that it does not step the only person who has applied. Any information under RTI can be used as an evidence for me also and for anyone else here to go with the quote and say that this information is now a public information and you can held accountable any public authority. Right now we are having limitation, it is applicable only to governmental authority, but times to come, I think all the corporates also which are working in public domain, this is slowly getting pace. Recently, private banks also, as held by CIC, they are also covered under RTI. So we will see that all those companies, though it are private, they would also get covered under RTI. So that is going to be the new future of this RTI Act. And we will try to discuss and touch upon such issues also. Mahadevji, I think you may start with the introductory part and then we will go on the case laws part.
The screen is visible to everyone?
Just is getting attached. Yeah, available.
Mahadevji, you will have to run the slideshow.
Yeah, right?
Yes, now it is.
So friends, as Nipunji has already told that this is not a tool, this is a weapon, right? And how to use that we will discuss here. अगर इसको दूसरे शब्दों में ऐसा कहा जाए तो ये जो एक कॉमन मैन की जो सोशल लाइफ है उसमें ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन है दैट वर्क्स एज ए ऑक्सीजन. अगर सोशल लाइफ में हमारे को किसी भी तरीके से अगर हम काम करना चाहते हैं, राइट, तो we should have that information. Without that information we cannot work. जैसा कि निपुण जी ने एग्जांपल दिया इनकम टैक्स पोर्टल का जो इशू है, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन, मतलब RTI के थ्रू we came to know that how much money has spent. So these kind of the social things where if we want to know something then we must have an information. तो ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो एक तरीके से ऑक्सीजन का काम करती है. नाउ अब हम सबसे पहले ये समझेंगे कि ये जो राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन है वो राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन क्या है. जो ये राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन है दैट इज एन स्टैट्यूटरी राइट. अगर हम एक्ट की बात करें तो ये राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट बोलता है कि दिस राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन व्हिच इज एन स्टैट्यूटरी राइट, इट इज अवेलेबल टू सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया, व्हिच मींस इट इज नॉट अवेलेबल टू एवरीवन. अगर हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट की बात करें जो कि फंडामेंटल राइट है वो होता है अवेलेबल टू एवरी वन, मतलब वेदर इट इज अ सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया और वेदर इट इज नॉट सिटीजन ऑफ, वेदर इट इज नॉन सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया. इस टॉपिक पर मैं ज्यादा डिस्कशन नहीं करूंगा क्योंकि जब हम बात करेंगे हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट्स की, तो कैसे हम हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में किसी भी RTI से रिलेटेड मैटर को हम ले जाते हैं, तब निपुण जी इसको थोड़ा सा डिटेल में वहां पे एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. बट अगर बेसिक चीज बात की जाए तो राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन है वो कि एक स्टैट्यूटरी राइट है जो कि अवेलेबल है सारे सिटीजन को. अब हम अगर बात करें इसकी हिस्ट्री की, इसमें मैं अपना ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड नहीं करूंगा. इसकी जो शुरुआत हुई राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन की वो 1994 में हुई. वो शुरुआत करी थी किसान मजदूर शक्ति संगठन ने और इसकी शुरुआत हुई थी राजस्थान से. वहां पे एक बहुत बड़ा आंदोलन हुआ. उसका रीजन ऐसा था जो लेबर्स वहां पे काम करते थे राजस्थान में, उन लेबर्स को पूरी सैलरी नहीं मिलती थी. जो सैलरी एक्चुअली उनकी थी वेजेज वो उनको पूरी नहीं मिलती थी और उनको इस चीज पर डाउट होने पर उन्होंने ये इंफॉर्मेशन मांगी फाइनेंशियल रिकॉर्ड्स को. उसको लेकर काफी एजिटेशन हुआ और अल्टीमेटली फाइनली जाके 1998 में जब उस समय जो चीफ मिनिस्टर थे अशोक जी गहलोत, उन्होंने एक कमिटी बनाई RTI बिल के लिए. उस पर काफी पहले मजदूर किसान शक्ति संगठन को इन्वॉल्व नहीं किया गया. लेटर ऑन दे इन्वॉल्व इनटू दैट एंड अल्टीमेटली जो वहां पे के जो ग्राम पंचायत रूल्स हैं वहां पे भी ये RTI इंफॉर्मेशन, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन के जो प्रोविजंस है उनको और उनसे रिलेटेड जो रूल्स है उनको अडॉप्ट किया गया था. इसमें निपुण जी से रिलेटेड भी इंफॉर्मेशन है. जो इसमें जो एडवोकेट्स थे राजस्थान से जो कि जोधपुर से बिलोंग करते हैं, वो मजदूर किसान शक्ति संगठन की तरफ से थे. निपुण जी विल एक्सप्लेन, देन आई विल गो फर्दर.
दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. ये जब लॉ आया तो उस समय देयर वाज नो RTI एज सच. पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशन एक्ट था जिसमें पंचायती राज रूल्स थे. अंडर दैट रूल्स देयर वाज अ राइट अवेलेबल कि कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए अप्लाई कर सकता है. इसके अंदर उस समय देन गवर्नमेंट actually sent 4 people to study this law on the implementation side. So basically 2 senior advocates from Jodhpur went there, and I happened to work with them. Right now they are no more in this world. Mr. Boda ji and Mr. Mradul ji both went there and actually saw what is happening on record. Problem ये हो रही तो payroll के अंदर amount था. Let's say the amount was 6,000 rupees, but only 3,500 rupees or 3,000 rupees was given to the laborers. 50% of the amount was going in bribe. The mediator were taking the bribe and the actual labor was not getting the money. Now when this law came and they actually educated, you won't believe कि जब उन्होंने RTI apply किया, it was specifically not RTI. There was Panchayati Raj rules under which an application was to be made, whereby the information was given. When it was applied, rather than giving reply in that RTI, what they did was they actually gave the cash payment to each and every person who applied the application. So this was the most important part, or I would say the watershed movement in the history of Panchayati Raj institution in Rajasthan. After this actually got too much into motion, and thereafter this law came into force. Though it started from Rajasthan, law first came in somewhere in, I think, Tamil Nadu, and thereafter it came on the central level. So it was something which started in one state by Mazdoor Kisan Sangathan, but ultimately it took the shape of central law. Just like I think Mahadevji must have explained in RERA also, it was started in Maharashtra. They came out with one law, but ultimately RERA came in across India. So it started with state, then went to central.
Yes. So ultimately, this law first came into the in 1997 in the state of Tamil Nadu, right? Then after there was another Freedom of Information Act came in 2002, but which could not be implemented. And finally, in the 2005, the Right to Information Act came into the picture. Now, so this was the history and this was the background as far as Right to Information Act is concerned. Now we will understand what are the objects. अगर हम सिंपल लैंग्वेज में, जैसा कि हमने अब तक डिस्कस किया, ये एक एक्ट है जिसके अंदर हम इंफॉर्मेशन ले सकते हैं. इंफॉर्मेशन कैसे लेनी है, क्यों लेनी है, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट आने का रीजन क्या है, ये 3 चीजें. और इसके साथ राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट के थ्रू जो इंफॉर्मेशन हमको लेनी है वो हम कहां से ले सकते हैं. तो दीज आर द 4 बेसिक ऑब्जेक्ट्स. अगर हम इसको हिंदी में सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझें, एज फार एक्ट इज कंसर्न, अगर हम इसकी बात करें तो ऑब्जेक्ट्स ऑफ द राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट इज सेटिंग प्रैक्टिकल रिजम ऑफ आरटीआई फॉर द सिटीजन्स. मतलब किस तरीके से हम इंफॉर्मेशन ले सकते हैं एज फार एज आरटीआई एक्ट इज कंसर्न. सेकेंड, प्रमोट ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी. अब आपको पता है जो रीजन था आने का वो था राजस्थान में सैलरी नहीं मिलने का वेजेस को. इसका मतलब अगर हम सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझे तो ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं थी, राइट. देयर वाज नो अकाउंटेबिलिटी. आज भी हम देखते हैं कहीं काफी सारी जगह हम लोग पढ़ते हैं और देखते हैं राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन में एक्ट, अगर राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट के थ्रू हम इंफॉर्मेशन मांगते हैं तो उसका बेसिक रीजन ये होता है कि कुछ चीजें हम लोगों को पता नहीं होती है. हम लोगों को डाउट होता है कि कहीं ना कहीं किसी न किसी चीज में ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं रखी गई है. तो वो ट्रांसपेरेंसी, टू प्रमोट ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी टू पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, दिस राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट हैज केम. अनदर एंड इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन, टू सिक्योर द एक्सेस टू इंफॉर्मेशन विच इज अंडर कंट्रोल ऑफ द पब्लिक अथॉरिटी. जैसे कि निपुंज ने आपको बताया कि ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन है हम वो पब्लिक अथॉरिटी से ही ले सकते हैं. प्राइवेट बैंक्स, नो डाउट, आफ्टर द CIC जजमेंट they came into the picture. इसके अलावा और कौन से प्राइवेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसकी हम इंफॉर्मेशन ले सकते हैं वो हम आगे समझेंगे. बट एज फार एज एक्ट इज कंसर्न, दिस एक्ट सेज दैट इंफॉर्मेशन कैन बी सीक फ्रॉम द पब्लिक अथॉरिटी. फोर एंड मोस्ट अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्जेक्ट इज दैट कंस्टिट्यूशन ऑफ द सेंट्रल स्टेट इंफॉर्मेशन कमीशन. किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अगर हम जाते हैं तो उसमें एक पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर होता है. तो सेंट्रल और स्टेट इंफॉर्मेशन कमीशन का जो एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है ये इसका एक चौथा और इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्जेक्ट है. सो 4 इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्जेक्ट: सेटिंग प्रैक्टिकल रिजम, promote transparency, secure access information, and constitution of the Central and State Information Commission. These are the main 4 objects of this Right to Information Act. Now friends, we will understand what is the information. पहले जो मैं इंफॉर्मेशन की डेफिनेशन है उसको रीड करूंगा, उसके बाद आगे हम समझेंगे कि क्या क्या इंफॉर्मेशन है, उसको कैसे एक्सेस किया जा सकता है. सो सेक्शन 2 सबसेक्शन F of Right to Information Act talk about the information. Means any material in any form, including records, documents, memos, emails, opinions, advice, press release, circulars, orders, logbooks, contract, reports, papers, samples, models, data material held in any electronic form, and information relating to any private body which can be accessed by the public authority under any other law for the time being in force. तो जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो है कोई भी रिपोर्ट्स, डॉक्यूमेंट्स, कोई सी भी टाइप का डॉक्यूमेंट्स है जो कि रिलेटेड टू इवन प्राइवेट बॉडी, जो कि किसी पब्लिक अथॉरिटी के अंदर बनी हुई है. सो दीज आर द इंफॉर्मेशन. अभी हम बात करें तो अगला एक बहुत अच्छा जजमेंट है, निकुंज जी विल थ्रो सम लाइट्स, देन आफ्टर आई विल फर्दर मूव. ये गुजरात का ही एक अच्छा सा जजमेंट है जिसमें कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द रोड से रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन मांगी गई थी. निपुण जी.
महादेव जी प्रीवियस स्लाइड करिए ना. फ्रेंड्स, इंफॉर्मेशन इंक्लूड्स, तो ये जितने भी एग्जांपल्स यहाँ लिखे हुए हैं, इट इंक्लूड्स एनीथिंग रिगार्डिंग रिकॉर्ड्स, डॉक्यूमेंट्स, एडवाइसेस. बट अगर आप देखेंगे 4th लाइन में द वर्ड यूज्ड इज सैंपल. सैंपल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अंडर RTI we can also ask for sample of some material because that is also information. Now sample, what is sample? Mahadev ji, next slide please. Now let us see this example. When I am going on road, I come to know that there are potholes. So there must be some issue in the material, some issue in the sample. If the quality was good, why road is broken? Why there is road gives broken in the rain? So because of this reason, I can apply under RTI to get the sample of the road. So under RTI, we can apply for sample. Obviously, we will have to pay the fee for that particular sample. Now you will say, अगर हम some sample मांगेंगे तो पूरी रोड ही चली जाएगी, सब लोग sample मांगने जाएंगे तो it is not like that. For sample, they have a specific area defined, some 10% of the complete road that can be permitted to be dug and given sample to, and it is for the contractor to restore that particular sample. So there is no problem. The concerned engineer will dig that particular part of the road and they will give you as a sample. You can send it to laboratory, get the testing done. Like for example, in National Highway Authority of India, they allow you to take the sample, send it to the lab. According to the specification, there has to be 6 layers in particular road. So all those 6 layers, whether they are equal or not, let's say one particular layer is of 2 centimeter, concrete, pebble, sand, what is the mixture, everything is fixed. So this particular thing I also studied and inquired from one of our client who is also making the highways, who is working under NHAI. He told me that, sir, this sample is permissible and under RTI you can ask for it. Then I also came across this particular order. As Mahadevji said, that this particular order is of CIC, Central Information Commissioner. See, there are 3 authorities. One is State Information Commissioner, second is Central Information Commissioner, and appeal from both of these commissioners goes to Supreme Court. So there is no High Court. As such, there is no High Court in between. We can go to High Court, how, that I will discuss in the later part. But CIC order is as good as, I would say, just a step below to Supreme Court. They have given order to provide the sample, and this judgment you can use if you want to take sample for any of the work done by contractor for government department. If 2 parties are private, then you cannot apply for RTI. But if the government is involved, you can ask for sample under RTI. Mahadev ji, you can move to next slide.
So friends, अभी हम समझेंगे कि ये इंफॉर्मेशन जो है, इसको अगर सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझा जाए तो ये इंफॉर्मेशन है क्या. अगर एकदम प्लेन लैंग्वेज में वेनिला में समझे इसको, इंफॉर्मेशन इज रिकॉर्डेड एंड स्टोर्ड डेटा डिसेमिनेटेड बाय द पब्लिक अथॉरिटी। अगर हम इसके एक्सेप्शन की बात करें तो जो न्यूज है दैट इज नॉट एन इंफॉर्मेशन। अगर हम ये देखें कि इंफॉर्मेशन जो कि अदरवाइज कहीं अवेलेबल है फॉर पब्लिक एट लार्ज, दैट इज नॉट द इंफॉर्मेशन, राइट। अगर हम एग्जांपल की बात करें तो इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द रेलवे और एयरवे टाइमिंग, ये इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है, ये हम आरटीआई में मांग नहीं सकते क्योंकि ये ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है, राइट। सो इंफॉर्मेशन इज मे बी फैक्ट ऑफ लॉ और इट मे कम फ्रॉम द एक्सटर्नल सोर्सेज। अगर हम जैसे कि बात करें इंफॉर्मेशन की तो एमसीए रिकॉर्ड्स है। अगर हम कोई भी कंपनी का इंफॉर्मेशन अगर सर्च करते हैं आरओसी की साइट पे, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स, तो वहां हम देखते हैं कि इंफॉर्मेशन पब्लिकली अवेलेबल है। तो हम 100 रुपीज का चालान पे करके वी कैन टेक अ सर्च ऑफ द एनी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी और पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी। सो सच काइंड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन विच इज अवेलेबल, otherwise that information is that is not the information as per the right to information act. Now future course of action is also not an information. अभी हम बात करते हैं कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो कि हमने इंफॉर्मेशन की डेफिनेशन में देखा था, प्राइवेट अथॉरिटी, उनकी इंफॉर्मेशन जो कि किसी एक्ट के अंदर बने हुए हैं, वो इंफॉर्मेशन और वो कौन सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसकी इंफॉर्मेशन हम ले सकते हैं। So the how to obtain information of the private body through public. So example अगर हम बात करें कोई भी प्राइवेट बैंक की अगर हमारे को इंफॉर्मेशन लेनी है तो we cannot file the RTA with the private bank. We have to file the RTA with the Reserve Bank of India. अगर हमारे को स्कूल की इंफॉर्मेशन लेनी है so then we have to move to educational department. हम एजुकेशनल डिपार्टमेंट जहां पे वो जिसके थ्रू जो स्कूल चलता है उस एजुकेशनल डिपार्टमेंट में हमारे को RTA लगानी पड़ेगी और वहां से हमारे को इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी। पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी की बात करते हैं तो आरओसी और सेबी है। कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी की बात करते हैं तो रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी। अगर हम ट्रस्ट की बात करें तो चैरिटेबल कमिश्नर। तो ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो हम प्राइवेट है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, लेकिन ये किसी सब्जेक्ट टू ऑपरेशन ऑफ लॉ है, तो हम उस लॉ या उस जो हायर अथॉरिटी है उसके वहां से इंफॉर्मेशन हम ले सकते हैं। अब हम अगर एग्जाम्पल की बात करें तो कुछ एग्जाम्पल मैं समझाऊंगा आपको, देन निपुन जी will explain you little bit example because of his personal experience where he has filed some PILs or he was involved in some PIL. So अगर हम स्कूल की बात करें तो हम स्कूल से रिलेटेड क्या इंफॉर्मेशन मांग सकते हैं। तो स्टेटस ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ द स्कूल फॉर एनी एफिलिएशन, जैसे CISC हुआ। अगर हम हमारे को बैंक से रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन मांगनी है तो जैसे फॉरेन डेरिवेटिव्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स हुए, एनुअल इंस्पेक्शन रिपोर्ट्स हुआ, बैंक वाइज जो ब्रेकअप मार्क टू मार्क लॉसेज होते हैं, वो इस टाइप की जो इंफॉर्मेशन है दैट वी कैन आस्क टू RTA फ्रॉम द RBI. Nipun ji will give the example of this COVID related things where he was involved in some matters in the High Court. Nipun ji.
So friends, महादेव जी ने ऑलरेडी बता दिया कि बैंक्स से हम क्या इंफॉर्मेशन मांग सकते हैं। वो सारी इंफॉर्मेशन मांग सकते हैं अगर वो पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक है, सो देयर इज नो इश्यू विद रिगार्ड टू गवर्नमेंट बैंक्स। बट व्हाट अबाउट प्राइवेट बैंक्स? सो सपोज हमको कोई इंफॉर्मेशन मांगनी है जो प्राइवेट बैंक ने RBI में फाइल की है, so we can file an RTA with RBI to give that information. So indirectly whatever is required to be submitted to the regulator, it becomes a public document under RTA. Like for example, private company, even if it files any document with ROC, it is public. We can pay the public document fee and get those access to the document. Now in case of willful defaulter, I have also covered in my later part, I had for the first time filed for willful defaulter list in case of State Bank of India. That was rejected by State Bank of India. Then I went in appeal, and in the first appeal, they directed bank to give the list of all the willful defaulters. So important point is, even for willful defaulter, write-off accounts, whatever losses bank has suffered, all this information has to be given. Similarly, annual inspection report, whereby any functioning of the bank is given, or let's say some loan account, we think that there is some fraud, we can file an RTA and get the information. Now it has been confirmed by Supreme Court also. How to use this in our day-to-day practice? Like we have some client who is an NPA. He is become defaulter. Now when we are giving a proposal to the bank, bank is rejecting the proposal. saying that no, this much haircut we cannot take. But they are also not telling how much they will be able to accept. Every bank has a OTS policy which is approved by a board of director. Therefore, if you apply under RTI, you can get the OTS policy as approved by the board of director. Then you can say that now you will have to accept, this is my proposal. So in a way, you can use this in your practice by getting the OTS policy of the bank. Now, this happened in COVID. When High Court was hearing the matter for COVID, there was no proper facility given by the hospitals. What was happening? If you go to hospital, they will say, we do not have the bed. You know what happened? Oxygen bed, non-oxygen bed, remdesivir is not available. What to do? So we applied RTI. I was also part of one of the PIL, though there was many PILs filed in the COVID time before High Court. And High Court suo motu gave direction to the government to disclose each and every hospital, whether private or public, how many beds are available, what is the categorization of the bed, oxygen bed, non-oxygen bed, if remdesivir is there, how much remdesivir is available, what is the exact quantity, so that people who are coming to the hospital, they are not given misleading information. Then they started disclosing it in 24 hours, they were updating only once. Then High Court said, no, you have to give the detail immediately on real-time basis. This all happened by way of RTI. When you apply for RTI, we will discuss under section 7 proviso, you can say in the RTI that this information is relating to my life and liberty. So if an information is relating to your life and liberty, the time period to give the information is reduced to 48 hours. And this is the most interesting part. Normally under RTI, the public information officer has 30 days to respond to your request. But under section 7 proviso, if you quote it, he has to reply within 48 hours. Obviously, you will have to say what is the question of life and liberty. But like the case of COVID, it was life and liberty issue. So they have to provide the information immediately. Second big scam which came to surface was government was not giving exact number of COVID deaths. When under RTI, death certificates were asked, number of death certificate issued were, let's say, 1 lakh, and the reported deaths were only 5,000. So how it is possible? So there has to be some difference. There has to be some issue with regard to disclosing of the data, because death certificate a person will only get if there is a death. Government saying there is no COVID death, but on the other hand, death certificates were issued. So such type of scams where maybe the government authorities is trying to mislead people, we can bring to the surface by only filing an RTI, hardly 10 rupees RTI, and we are doing a social cause. We are helping public at large, and that is the main object of RTI. It is not only limited to our profession, it is also for society. If you do this, you will get to know. Recently, we are not covered in the slide, but recently one of my friend, Mr. ML Baheti from Pune, he is also a chartered accountant. So he discussed with me that, sir, when we are applying for registration of this trust, income tax department is not giving the approval or rejecting the application. So I said that probably there is some problem. You apply under RTI, how many trust application has come, how many they have rejected, what is the ground of rejection. So when you applied under RTI, you will be shocked to believe Pune Department of Income Tax has rejected more than 90% application for trust registration. Now, once the data is outside, once the reasons are recorded, now the matter can be taken to higher authority. Okay, why this particular zone is rejecting application? What is the ground for rejection? Whether it is legally tenable or not. So such things we can bring to surface if the authority is not doing proper work as per law. Madhavji?
Yeah. Apart from this, we would like to share another example, which recently me and Nipun Bhai both have advised one chartered accountant that information in respect. Anyway, we will cover that income tax part also. But as Nipunji were discussing this income tax or registration part, so I will explain that another part. Recently, one chartered accountant approached us that he filed one application, that Vivad scheme, right? And according to that Vivad scheme provision, I think if the appeal is pending before the appellate authority, then you can go for the Vivad se Vivad scheme, and that matter again that you can close that appeal. So what happened in that case, that person जो SSC था, उसने जो अपील फाइल करी थी, फॉर्म 35 जो फाइल किया था, वो विद द डिले ऑफ कंडोनेशन फाइल किया था. अपील का टाइम चला गया था, बट विद द डिले ऑफ कंडोनेशन ही फाइल्ड द अपील फॉर दिस असेसमेंट ऑर्डर. अभी उस केस में क्या हुआ, जो अपीलेट अथॉरिटी थी ना, तो उन्होंने रिजेक्ट किया कि आपकी जो अपील है वो हम रिजेक्ट करते हैं क्योंकि डिले है, ना उसको एक्सेप्ट किया अगर डायरेक्ट वे में बोला जाए तो. लेकिन उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने हियरिंग शेड्यूल करके उसका इंफॉर्मेशन भेजा. इट मींस they have accepted this appeal, and it means that appeal is pending before the appellate authority. Now that SSC went before that, he applied for this Vivad se Vivad scheme. That Vivad se Vivad scheme has been rejected. अभी उस पर्सन ने काफी जगह डिफरेंट अथॉरिटी में अप्रोच किया, ग्रीवेंसेस रिड्रेसल सिस्टम में उन्होंने कंप्लेंट फाइल करी, बट अल्टीमेटली कुछ नहीं हुआ, एंड ही हैड टू फाइल द आरटीआई. उन्होंने ये इंफॉर्मेशन मांगने के लिए आरटीआई में अप्लाई किया कि भाई मैंने जो एप्लीकेशन किया उसका रिजेक्शन का रीजन क्या है, क्या प्रोसेस था, क्या बैकग्राउंड था. सो हाउ वी कैन यूज दैट आरटीआई इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड व्हाट इंफॉर्मेशन वी कैन आस्क. जब इंफॉर्मेशन आ जाएगी तो वी विल कम टू नो दैट व्हाट वाज द रीजन. नाउ अभी क्या और किस टाइप की इंफॉर्मेशन हो सकती है, आई विल एक्सप्लेन और वी विल डिस्कस दिस सम एग्जांपल. एक आरटीआई फाइल हुई थी, आप सभी को पता है, 2002 हिट एंड रन केस, राइट. अब उसमें एक आरटीआई फाइल करी थी, और आरटीआई फाइल करने पर पता चला कि इस केस से रिलेटेड जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो फायर में आग लगी थी मंत्रालय में, और वो वहां पे जल गई है सारी फाइलें. इसमें इस आरटीआई में इंफॉर्मेशन क्या मांगी थी, फ्रॉम द स्टेट लॉ एंड जुडिशरी डिपार्टमेंट से ये इंफॉर्मेशन मांगी गई थी कि द नेम्स एंड द टोटल नंबर ऑफ द काउंसिल्स, solicitors, advocates and legal advisors, public prosecutors appointed by the state government for this case. आपने बीच में रिसेंटली जब कंगना राणावत और महाराष्ट्र स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का भी काफी न्यूज में सुना होगा, जो कंगना राणावत का जो केस था, उस केस में भी आरटीआई लगी थी, और ये पता चला था कि उस मैटर के लिए जो एडवोकेट्स अपॉइंट किए गए थे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से, उनको कितनी फीस दी गई, नहीं दी गई, गवर्नमेंट ने कितना स्पेंड किया उस पर्टिकुलर मैटर के लिए, दैट आल्सो केम इनटू द न्यूज. सो सच टाइप ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन कैन बी आस्क्ड थ्रू आरटीआई. अनदर एग्जांपल ऑफ द आरटीआई, दिल्ली में आरटीआई लगाई गई और उस इंफॉर्मेशन में पता चला कि अप्रैल 2008 में आरटीआई का रिप्लाई आया which has revealed that Delhi government spent 150 crores rupees. How much? 150 crores rupees from January 2020 to March 2021. मतलब 3 महीने में 150 करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए गए एडवर्टाइजमेंट एंड पब्लिसिटी थ्रू वेरियस मीडियम्स. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट 800 करोड़ रुपए 2 साल में दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट ने स्पेंड किए एडवर्टाइजमेंट पे. सो दिस काइंड ऑफ द इंफॉर्मेशन can be asked through RTA. Now we will understand what is the public authority. अगर हम पब्लिक अथॉरिटी की बात करें, हमने पहली डेफिनेशन में देखा था इंफॉर्मेशन की डेफिनेशन में, और अगर हम ऑब्जेक्ट की डेफिनेशन जब हम गो थ्रू किया तो हमने ये देखा कि वहां पे जो इंफॉर्मेशन पब्लिक अथॉरिटी के पास है, that information we can access. So what is the public authority? Public authority means any authority or body or institution of self-government established or constituted by or under the constitution, by any other law made by parliament, by any other law made by state legislature, by notification issued or order made by appropriate government, and includes. अब फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों को ये जो डेफिनेशन का जो सेकंड पार्ट है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है, इसको समझना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि आगे वी विल डिस्कस, हम आगे कुछ केस स्टडीज डिस्कस करेंगे आफ्टर दिस. सो दिस पार्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इंक्लूड्स एनी बॉडी ऑन कंट्रोल और सब्सटेंशियली फाइनेंस्ड non-government organization, substantially financed directly or indirectly by fund provided by the appropriate government. So अगर कोई बॉडी जो कि substantially financed है गवर्नमेंट के फंड से, क्या वो बॉडी भी पब्लिक अथॉरिटी होगी या नहीं होगी, वो क्वेश्चन का आंसर डिसाइड करने के लिए वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस डेफिनेशन। अब भी मैं थोड़ा प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट पे जाता हूँ कुछ केस स्टडीज को लेकर। अगर हम नॉन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल की बात करें तो क्या वो पब्लिक अथॉरिटी है या नहीं है, उसका डिसीजन धारा सिंह स्कूल वर्सेस उत्तर प्रदेश में लिया गया था 2008 में। उसमें ये डिसाइड हुआ था ये जो नॉन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल है वो सब्सटेंशियली फाइनेंस बाय स्टेट गवर्नमेंट डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली। अब उसमें क्या होता था, जो टीचर्स की जो सैलरी होती थी वो गवर्नमेंट की ग्रांट के थ्रू पे होती थी। तो उस केस में ये डिसाइड किया गया था कि जब गवर्नमेंट की ग्रांट से स्टाफ जो सैलरी जो टीचर्स को मिल रही है, तो इट मींस दैट नॉन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल इज अ पब्लिक अथॉरिटी। अब हम कॉलेज की बात करें, जो प्राइवेट एडेड कॉलेज हैं, क्या वो पब्लिक अथॉरिटी में फॉल होते हैं या नहीं होते हैं? तो इसमें भी यही क्वेश्चन है, सब्सटेंशियली ग्रांट इन एड वाज रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट। अब हम इसका थोड़ा सा डिटेल में एनालिसिस करें तो इसमें क्या था, जो डिसीजन लिया गया था वो इस बेसिस पे लिया गया था, टू फॉल अंडर द एम्बिट ऑफ द सब्सटेंशियली फाइनेंस द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन शुड रिसीव लार्ज सम ऑफ फाइनेंस and it need not more than 50%. Government funding, even though made up to 45% of the total finance, it still funded nearly 95% of the salary of the teaching staff. तो substantially finance का मतलब अगर हम देखा जाए तो 50% से ज्यादा होना चाहिए, राइट? इस केस में 45% फंड दे रहे थे, लेकिन जो कॉलेज था वो चल रहा था किसकी वजह से? स्टाफ, मतलब प्रोफेसर्स और टीचर्स की वजह से। तो वो जो सैलरी थी वो 95% सैलरी थी, दैट वाज थ्रू गवर्नमेंट एड। तो इसलिए इस केस में ये हेल्ड किया गया था कि ये जो प्राइवेट एडेड कॉलेज है दे विल आल्सो फॉल अंडर द डेफिनेशन ऑफ द पब्लिक अथॉरिटी। अब हम बात करते हैं यूनिवर्सिटीज की। क्या यूनिवर्सिटीज पब्लिक अथॉरिटी में फॉल होती है या नहीं होती है? तो यूनिवर्सिटीज एन अथॉरिटी एज डिफाइंड अंडर सेक्शन 2 सबसेक्शन सी ऑफ द कर्नाटका राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट 2000, and university is an authority within meaning of article 12 of the constitution। जो article 12 बात करता है स्टेट की, so it is a authority as per the article 12 of the constitution। so ये जो केस है शिवन्ना नायक वर्सेस बैंगलोर यूनिवर्सिटी कर्नाटका का, इस केस में ये हेल्ड किया गया था कि जो यूनिवर्सिटी है दैट इज आल्सो पब्लिक अथॉरिटी एंड दे हैव टू गिव द इंफॉर्मेशन asked under the Right to Information Act. Now, one another judgment of the Gujarat High Court is there. Nipunji will explain that.
This is an interesting judgment of Gujarat High Court, and in fact, this will make the point clear when a particular entity is covered as a public authority or not. The case was Gujarat Venture Finance Limited is a company which was originally formed by some funding from Gujarat government and through some other state PSU of state government. However, Article of Association has a clause which says Managing Director of GIIC Limited would be ex officio chairman of GVFL. So practically speaking, GVFL was in a way controlled by GIIC Limited, where the appointment of the chairman would be by way of MD of another company. Now, as per the law, there has to be substantial funding. Here now the argument was less than 50% of the funding was there because the Gujarat government stake was hardly some 30% or so. So it was not 50 or 51%. So they rejected the application filed by one citizen saying that we are not public authority, RTI Act does not apply to us, and therefore we will not provide you the detail. Now, this matter went to Gujarat High Court, and High Court said that the words used are, Madhavji, next slide please. The words used in the particular language of public authority is not only ownership, but also control. So here there was not ownership, but there was a control by Gujarat government indirectly. And therefore, if it is not directly controlled, but indirectly also controlled, that is the board of directors. Like in FEMA also we have this concept that whether the controlling board of directors are outside India, whether the ownership is outside India, so ownership is different, control is different, but if any of them is with the government, then this is a particular case where it will fall under RTI. So for a qualification under RTI, we have to only examine the person who is liable to give us information is a public authority. And what is public authority? Whether by way of funding, controlling, ownership, any of the three, that particular vest with central government or state government or with both. That is very important. Even if there is ownership with both of them, controlling with both of them, then also they will be held liable. It is not the case that both of them reduce their stake less than 50%, then they will say we are out from RTI. No. State government, central government, or taken together. Everything has to be checked for falling under RTI. And there have been cases where PSUs having some stake from central government, some stake from state government, they have also not made the RTI cell. And we will discuss some of the case studies in the coming slide where there is huge revenue loss, and we have come this to know by RTI. Madhevji, next slides.
Now friends, अभी हम सिंपल अगर बात करते हैं तो क्या पब्लिक अथॉरिटी है? What are the public authority? So any authority or body which is considered as a government in common parlance, all ministries and their departments, municipal bodies, panchayat, courts, public sector undertakings, nationalized bank, LIC, UTI, establishment of the parliament, legislature, judiciary, president and the governors. Now, what is the exceptions? So this act, right to information, is not applicable to some organization which are the public authority, but they are not covered under this right to information act. और सबसे important part जो है इसमें वो है Directorate General of Income Tax Investigation, that is excluded, right? So these are the some 22 organizations are there or public authorities are there which are not covered under the right to information act. अब friends हम बात करेंगे right to information क्या है? Right to information means the right to information accessible under this act which is held by or under the control of any public authority and includes the right to inspection of the work. तो क्या हम right to information में है? We can go and inspect the work, inspection of the work, documents and records, taking notes, extracts or certified copy of the document. So we can take the notes, we can extract or we can take the certified copies also. Taking certified samples of the material, जैसा कि पहले निपुण जी ने एक्सप्लेन किया था रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन के काम में सैंपल्स लेने का, राइट? Obtaining information in the form of diskette, floppies, tabs, video cassettes or in any other electronic mode or through printouts where such information is stored in a computer or any other devices. अब हम बात करते हैं प्रैक्टिकल आरटीए कैसे ड्राफ्ट करते हैं. अब आप सब लोगों को पता है राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन जो एक्ट है ये एक तरीके से अगर हम प्रैक्टिकल जनरल लाइफ में बात करते जाएं तो आज हमारे जो भी जूनियर्स होते हैं या हमारे घर में कोई फैमिली मेंबर्स होते हैं, अगर उनसे हमको काम करवाना है और हम अगर सीधे सीधे उनसे बात करते हैं कि भाई ये काम कर दो या अगर स्ट्रिक्टली इंस्ट्रक्शन देते हैं तो आप सबको पता है कि वो काम होना थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है. सो वी आस्क और वी टेक सम इंफॉर्मेशन और हम अगर कोई काम करवाना तो थोड़ा इनडायरेक्ट वे में करवाते हैं. तो द सेम वे इज द आरटीआई. जैसा कि निपुण जी ने पहले भी बताया था, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट में हमको रिक्वेस्ट करनी होती है, मतलब वी कैन नॉट आस्क द क्वेश्चन. अगर हम इसके क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं तो हमारे को वो आंसर नहीं मिलेगा. वी हैव टू रिक्वेस्ट फॉर द इंफॉर्मेशन. अब आरटीआई कैसे फाइल होती है? आरटीआई ऑनलाइन भी फाइल हो सकती है, ऑफलाइन भी फाइल हो सकती है. अगर हम कोई भी सेंट्रल अथॉरिटी की बात करें तो वी कैन फाइल द आरटीआई थ्रू ऑनलाइन. गुजरात की बात करें तो गुजरात में हमारे को आरटीआई ऑफलाइन फाइल करनी पड़ती है. अब जब हम आरटीआई फाइल कर रहे हैं तो क्या जो पर्सन आरटीआई फाइल कर रहा है उसको आरटीआई फाइल करने का रीजन मेंशन करना कंपलसरी है? सो आंसर इज नो. वी हैव टू पे द फीस minimum 10 rupees when we are filing the RTI through online. अगर हम गुजरात गवर्नमेंट की बात करें तो 20 रुपया RTI फाइल करने का लगता है. RTI किसको फाइल की जा सकती है? सेंट्रल और स्टेट पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर को. RTI में क्या लिखना पड़ता है? जो हमारे को RTI में स्पेसिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन वी हैव टू आस्क. जो भी हमारे को इंफॉर्मेशन, पर्टिकुलर इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, वो सारी डिटेल हमारे को उसमें लिखनी पड़ती है. अगर मैंने किसी डिपार्टमेंट में RTI फाइल किया है और वो इंफॉर्मेशन उस डिपार्टमेंट से रिलेटेड नहीं है या उस डिपार्टमेंट के पास नहीं है, तो ये उस डिपार्टमेंट की ड्यूटी बनती है कि वो उस एप्लीकेशन को रिलेवेंट डिपार्टमेंट को ट्रांसफर करेंगे. अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, अगर कोई आदमी RTI फाइल करना चाहता है और अगर वो फाइल नहीं कर पाता है, तो वहां का जो पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर होता है, इट इज हिज ड्यूटी कि वो उस राइट टू RTI एप्लीकेशन फाइल करने में उस पर्सन की हेल्प करे. नाउ वी विल टॉक अबाउट द फीस. सो एप्लीकेशन फीस अगर हम बात करें, जैसा कि मैंने पहले बताया, 10 और 20 रुपया लगता है फाइलिंग फीस का. अगर हम बात करते हैं अदर फीस की, तो 2 रुपया पर पेज. अगर हम RTI में सर्टिफाइड कॉपी ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट लेते हैं, 2 रुपये. Sorry friends. So there are the charges of ₹2 per page if the page size is A3 or A4. If the larger page is there, then whatever the actual cost is there, that we have to pay. For the inspection of the document, first we have to pay. There is no fees if we are inspecting the document for 30 minutes. Then after ₹20 per 30 minutes. If we are taking the documents of floppy and disk, then there is a charge of ₹50. Mode of payment either cash or DD, right? Then can you take it for 2 minutes?
Yes, yes, Madev. So I always suggest that once we apply for RTI, we should always go for inspection. Now, what is inspection? Inspection is for first 30 minutes, they will not charge you fee. So you make a request that I want this information. They will say this is in this file. You see the file. Now, when we inspect, we come to know what are the relevant documents in that particular file. Then we can mark those documents and then ask them that we want a copy of these documents. So inspection is always good if the information which you are demanding is running into number of pages. So for first 30 minutes, there is no fee. For next 30 minutes, there is 20 rupees fee. So in case you are asking for, let's say it is an issue with regard to a particular circular or an order, you are not aware how many meetings happened for issuing that circular. You can ask for complete data. You can inspect the file, find out relevant documents, and then ask for copy. In case you want the data in floppy, now nobody uses floppy, so normally it is CD, or you can also bring your USB drive. They can give you by asking for a payment of 50 rupees. So 50 rupees is inclusive of that copy of CD or USB and giving to you. If you bring yours, they can give it to you. And I have seen now they are easily giving you on email also, because it is now free of cost. So they, in COVID times, to stop the physical contact, they have started issuing electronically also. Very few government officers I have seen who stick to the rule book and say, no, you pay us fee, only then we will provide you. Normally, if you are asking them on electronic mode, nowadays they are not charging also. So that is good thing. But yes, for application, you will have to pay that 10 rupees or 20 rupees fees as the case may be.
Now, friends, reply, जैसा कि निपुण जी ने पहले भी बताया था, जब RTI हमने फाइल करी है, तो it is the duty of the department to provide the information within 30 days. So either they reject the RTI application, right? Reject with the reason, or they may not. They have to give the information. Another important aspect: if the matter is of the life of liberty, then we can ask the information. We can state that 48 hours में that particular department has to provide the information. Now the important part is that whenever we are drafting the RTI, always it is better to mention that particular clause of provision of section 7, that this, as per the provision of section 7, that information is to provided within 48 hours. Now, if there is no reply is received within 30 days, it means they have refused. Now, After the 30 days, if they provide the information, so here important point is that there is no need to pay any charges. बहुत सी बार हम देखते हैं कि हमारे को 30 दिन के बाद इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है, बट एज फार एज एक्ट इज कंसर्न, अगर 30 दिन के बाद इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है तो इन दैट केस देयर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट टू पे द अमाउंट. नाउ व्हाट आर द एक्सेप्शंस? थोड़ा शॉर्ट में बताऊंगा एक्सेप्शंस, बिकॉज देन वी विल अंडरस्टैंड केस स्टडीज आल्सो. देयर आर सम एक्सेप्शन दैट इंफॉर्मेशन, जो आरटीआई में हम इंफॉर्मेशन मांगते हैं वो उसके एक्सेप्शन है कि किस टाइप की इंफॉर्मेशन हमको नहीं दी जा सकती है. सो इंफॉर्मेशन विच अफेक्ट्स sovereignty and integrity of the India, security, scientific, strategic and economic interest of the state, relation with the foreign states. So information which is relation to the foreign states, that information cannot be provided, lead to incitement of an offense, expressly forbidden by the court of law, parliamentary and legislative privileges, commercial confidence and trade secrets, information available in the fiduciary relationship. जैसा कि हम इनकम टैक्स के मैटर में समझेंगे, फिड्यूशियरी रिलेशनशिप में कैसे इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट एक पर्सन की इंफॉर्मेशन रखता है और क्या इंफॉर्मेशन दे कैन शेयर और व्हाट इंफॉर्मेशन दे कैन नॉट शेयर. इंफॉर्मेशन रिसीव्ड इन कॉन्फिडेंस फ्रॉम फॉरेन गवर्नमेंट, इंफॉर्मेशन व्हिच एंडेंजर्ड लाइफ, फिजिकल सेफ्टी, व्हिच इम्पेयर्ड द प्रोसेस ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, कैबिनेट मैटर, प्राइवेसी ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल. सो दीज आर द examples or these are the exception where information cannot be provided. Now अगर हमारे को information नहीं मिली या मिली है तो हमारे को अपील करनी पड़ेगी. तो जो फर्स्ट अपील है वो 30 दिन के अंदर हमारे को फाइल करनी पड़ती है. अब प्रैक्टिकली हम देखा जाए, अगर हम किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट में आरटीआई की एप्लीकेशन करते हैं तो वहां एक जिस डिपार्टमेंट होता है उसी में एक ऑफिसर को पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर अपॉइंट किया जाता है. देन आफ्टर उसकी जो हायर अथॉरिटी होती है डिपार्टमेंट में, दैट इज वहां पे अपील फाइल की जाती है और वो जो अपील है दैट वी हैव टू फाइल विद इन 30 डेज. नाउ व्हाट इज द सेकंड अपील? 90 डेज में हमारे को सेकंड अपील फाइल करनी पड़ती है, दैट इज विद द स्टेट इंफॉर्मेशन कमीशन. नाउ निपुन जी, यू एक्सप्लेन द फर्दर पार्ट एज फार एज द अपील फ्रॉम द स्टेट इंफॉर्मेशन कमीशन एंड द सेंट्रल इंफॉर्मेशन कमीशन.
So friends, as per law, there are two provisions of appeal. Now, appeal can be in case of state government authorities, appeal will be before State Information Commissioner. In case of central government authority, appeal will be before Central Information Commissioner. But as far as law is concerned, law does not provide any appeal thereafter. So CIC and SIC is the final authority for appeal. Now, if I want to appeal further, there is no provision in the act. What I will have to do is I will have to invoke my rights under Constitution of India to go before High Court or Supreme Court. So if I want to go before High Court, I will invoke Article 226 on the ground that maybe the State Information Commissioner has not dealt with my application correctly. He has rejected my application wrongly. Whatever is my contention before High Court, arguing that my fundamental rights are infringed and you have to make out a case qua Constitution. Secondly, if I want to do an appeal against the order of CIC, I will have to go before Supreme Court because CIC order, technically speaking, would go before Supreme Court because it's a central authority. But if I'm able to make that principle of natural justice is violated, let's say they did not hear me, without hearing me, they have passed the order, maybe based on my reply, maybe based on my application or appeal, whatever the case is. In that particular situation, I, as a personal opinion, is of the view that you should go before High Court. If you succeed in High Court, nothing like that. Else, you can also move to Supreme Court after High Court. So you will have one more step of litigation. But it is something like you are invoking your writ jurisdiction. So there is no prohibition that you cannot directly go to Supreme Court. There is no prohibition. But normally Supreme Court is of the view, if you have a High Court, you please go to High Court, try your luck there. If you are not able to succeed, you can come to Supreme Court. Like in COVID, we have seen PILs were filed in High Court also, PILs were filed in Supreme Court also. So as such, our constitution does not prohibit, but suggestible it is, you go before High Court, thereafter you go to Supreme Court. That is how the law is. Like recently, we have also seen just like CJI office, whether it is covered under RTI or not, it went before Delhi High Court. So the issue that CJI office is covered under RTI Act or not was also challenged the way before Delhi High Court, then obviously before Supreme Court. Though it was held that CJI office is now included under RTI law, and except some judicial work, everything can be disclosed. And that's obviously a welcome step because everything is becoming transparent day by day. Just like PMO office, all the details are available under RTI. You can file under before PMO office and get the detail. Just like PM Care, there is the controversy. Now the matter is before Delhi High Court. Let us see what they will decide. But the stand taken by PMO office with regard to PM Care Fund was, it is not a public authority. Why it is not public authority? Because it has been registered as a private trust. So that is again going to be a controversial question. And I think that government will come out with some transparency and say that we are ready to disclose detail under RTI. But as of now, the details have not been disclosed. So point is, we will have to go case by case, apply our mind, and whether understand this case will be falling under RTI or not. And the forum would be State Information Commissioner in case of state authority, Central Information Commissioner in case of central authority. Thereafter, writ jurisdiction to challenge that order before High Court and Supreme Court. High Court, we could invoke Article 226, in Supreme Court, Article 32. Mahadev.
Yes. So friends, this was the as far as appeal provisions were there. Now we talk about the penalty. So penalty can be levied on the public information officer for the following reasons: either he is denying the information, providing incorrect or incomplete information, misleading information, or information is destroyed. What would be the penalty? Rupees 250 each day till information is furnished, maximum 25,000 rupees. In one of the case in the Gujarat only, the Honorable Gujarat High Court has imposed the penalty of rupees 25,000 on the public information officer. Now, the important point is that this 25,000 rupees has to be paid by the TIO from his own pocket. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि वो जो 25,000 रुपए वो गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट से पेनल्टी लगेगी, but this 25,000 rupees has to be paid from his own pocket, his own salary. Now friends, we will discuss what is the use of the RTI. अगर हम इनकम टैक्स एक्ट की बात करें, जैसा कि हमने पहले भी एग्जांपल दिए थे, जैसा कि मैंने विवाद से विवाद स्कीम के बारे में बताया, निपुण जी ने रजिस्ट्रेशन के बारे में बताया, राइट? अब क्या इंफॉर्मेशन हम आरटीआई को लेकर क्या इंफॉर्मेशन मांग सकते हैं इस बार इनकम टैक्स इज कंसर्न? तो टैक्स रिफंड, रेक्टिफिकेशन ऑफ एप्लीकेशन, इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न ऑफ थर्ड पार्टी, सर्च सीजर रेट केसेस, स्टेटस ऑफ द टैक्स इविजन पिटीशन. ये इस टाइप की कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन है जो हम मांग सकते हैं. दैट इज आल्सो डिपेंड ऑन केस टू केस वेदर दैट वुड बी प्रोवाइडेड और नॉट. अगर हम डीजीआईटी इनकम टैक्स की बात करते हैं, इन्वेस्टिगेशन, तो वो पब्लिक अथॉरिटी में फॉल नहीं होते डेफिनेशन में. तो सर्च और सीजर की जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो थर्ड पार्टी की नहीं मांग सकते हैं. स्पेशल इवेजन टैक्स की अगर एप्लीकेशन मांगी लगाई गई है, so obviously that status of application can be asked through the right to RTI application. Now RTI जो एप्लीकेशन, अगर हम रिफंड की बात करें तो क्या हम रिफंड अगर मांगेंगे तो सिंगल RTI में कैन वी आस्क द मल्टीपल रिफंड एप्लीकेशन स्टेटस ऑफ द वन इंडिविजुअल पर्सन? सो आंसर इज यस. नाउ important point is that whenever we are filing a RTI for our client, keep in your mind that RTI should be filed in the name of the person only. The chartered accountant cannot file the RTI. And important another point is that we should not ask the question. We have to ask the we have to request for the information. That is the important point when we are filing the RTI before the income tax authority or any another department. Now I think Nipunji, can you carry we can carry this relevant to case studies. I think we can take it income tax GST case studies. And another RERA related RTI I will explain whenever this slide will come.
You can move it to next slide, Madhavji. Yes. So friends, an important question or a usual question which normally comes to us is, when I am going to go for inspection, seeing the file under RTI, can I take the screenshot of the file? Answer is yes. you can take, and now there are judgments to this effect that you can click photos in your mobile camera also, and that is also legally permissible. Now, if you ask me whether getting this information, can I file a case in the court? Answer is, it will be difficult to explain to court without having a certified copy under the seal of PIO. So you will have to have the information under RTI by way of a certified copy, so that you can put in the court that I have got this information under RTI. Because by clicking photograph, you will not be able to authenticate that particular document. So therefore, it is advisable to all of you, if you are taking only those information for the purpose of something else, not putting in some court, then you can definitely click photographs. There is no problem. There is no illegality. But if you want to use it, please go for certified copy. Madhevji, next slide, please. Now, this is very interesting question, whether if I am having some issues with my wife, or a wife has an issue with the husband, can she ask for income tax return of the spouse under RTI Act or not? So previously, the law was that the information asked by a third party is not permissible under law. Now the law has changed. Law has changed because of now the matters went till CIC, and recently the judgment of Sunita Virmani versus CPIO in case of GST. And Madhevji, next slide, please. And the case of income tax Rahat Bano versus ITO. What has happened is, if for the purpose of maintenance, the wife wants the income tax return detail or GST return detail of the husband, then those details will be provided. Now, the question is whether the complete income tax return will be provided. Answer is no. What they are saying is, they will give you the gross income, they will give you the net income, which is taxable. So complete details are not disclosed, but the purpose, that is for applying for maintenance, an idea of income will be given. Just like in case of GST return also, CIC has held that the gross turnover, gross figures can be given, net figures can be given, but each and every breakup detail will not be provided. So this has given rise to another round of litigation, whereby if under a different law, you are permitted to have the access to information, then you are not a third party with respect to that information. So suppose under Domestic Maintenance Act or Domestic Violence Act or Hindu Marriage Act, whatever act is applicable, under maintenance, if she wants to know what is the income of my husband, she can very well apply. If a husband wants to know that wife is a earning member and probably I will not require to pay maintenance, he can also apply. So both of them can apply to the authority, and the authority is bound to give them the return details. Now, these judgments were previously against the third party, but now the law has evolved, or I would say now the law is become more liberal. If I extendedly apply, Madhevji, next slide. If I extendedly apply this particular logic, let's say there is a dispute between father and son. Now, son wants maybe some share in the property, or probably the son has alienated his father from his property. The same logic can be applied, and the details can be sought from the income tax department also. This is my opinion. There is no judgment on this, but in my opinion, this will have to be provided. Now, let's say if there is a dispute between two brothers, brother, sister, this logic will again be applied, because if you are entitled to any property or property dispute, under RTI details will have to be disclosed. And the plea that third party details cannot be disclosed will not be acceptable, and therefore details will have to be given by the department. Madhevji?
These are some example, friends, where we sought some information in respect of the RERA, right? We filed a RTI before the RERA authority, and we came to know the information. So the question is that
is raised by Deloitte. So they are asking that those CA certificate which are required, those are for individual annual tax, or those are for
I think somebody is speaking. Can you mute? I think
Gajendra. I think Gajendraji's mic is on.
Gajendraji, can you mute yourself, please?
अच्छा, नहीं तो डिफॉल्ट हो गया या जो टर्नओवर हो गया, वो जो सारी चीजें
I am muting him.
ग्रुप कंपनी का दिखाना रहेगा हमको, राइट? हम्म मतलब एप्लीकेंट
He is muted now, Madhaji.
Yeah. So, friends, some information we asked from the RERA authority, like the example, COVID की वजह से जब physical hearing बंद हो गया था और सब virtual hearing हो रहा था. In one of the our matter, we got a notice. Our client got a notice for the physical presence. Then we filed the RTA before the RERA authority, and we asked some information. So, what information we sought from the RERA authority? That information order relating to direction issued by the Gujarat RERA authority to remain physically present, right? So हमने क्या मांगा कि आपने क्या कौन सा जो ऑर्डर पास किया है फिजिकल प्रेजेंस के लिए उसकी कॉपी दी जाए. तो आंसर क्या आया उसमें? रेस्पेक्टिव कोर्ट हैज गिवन द वर्बल इंफॉर्मेशन, सो देयर वाज नो ऑर्डर इन a writing. Then second question we asked, information order relating to number of the person, litigants, complainants, respondents present physically in the hearing from particular date, that is July 2022, 10 January 2021. तो important point क्या है सर फ्रेंड्स, यहाँ पे जो हम इंफॉर्मेशन मांग रहे हैं, जैसा कि आप देख रहे हैं, हमने persons, litigants, complainant, respondent, we mention the everything. It should be always there that we should not miss anything, क्योंकि कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन किसी भी रेस्पेक्ट्स में हमको मिल सकती है. Then we have to be very specific, जैसा कि हमने पर्टिकुलर डेट लिखा कि इस पीरियड की इंफॉर्मेशन हमारे को चाहिए, तो वो जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो उसी पीरियड से रिलेटेड हमारे को इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी. सो व्हाट आंसर वी गॉट? ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड in 19 cases physical hearing was conducted. So even there was no order was there of the High Court that no physical hearing can be conducted. Even the physical hearing was conducted by the RERA authority. Then we ask the information, what step is taken by the RERA authority in respect of the order of the Honorable Gujarat High Court, that जो वहां पे प्रीकॉशन लिया जा सकता है कि भाई आपको क्या प्रीकॉशन लिया गया है, उसके बारे में हमने इंफॉर्मेशन मांगी. एंड वी गॉट द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट for physical hearing, arrangement were made for the thermal scanning, mask and social distancing in the waiting area. Another RTA we filed before the RERA authority, that was in respect of the extension of the project. And what information we sought? Details information about the application for the extension of the registration of the real estate project for the period 1st May 2017 to 28th February. And what information we got? That total 1381 projects had applied for the extension, and out of that 1335 applications were approved. Then what another information we sought? That is rejection of the application. So we got the information that 14 applications rejected. Then जो कोविड की वजह से जो गवर्नमेंट ने एक्सटेंशन दिया था, उसके बाद रेरा अथॉरिटी का जो ऑर्डर आया था, उसमें कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स ने एक्सटेंशन की एप्लीकेशन लगाई, that information we sought, and we got the information that 122 projects applied for the extension. Another information we sought, that provide the information details of the project for which application for extension of registration is received and extension is not granted or pending as on 28th February. So 13 applications are pending. So these type of information we sought. Now, Nipunji, another case studies you can take, that because we have very limited time.
So recently, this particular issue also cropped up when Supreme
means is there any extension granted in RERA for like in Maharashtra? I guess it was granted for every project. Is there any notification by Gujarat RERA authority, sir?
No, there is no extension. We can discuss that part later on, because that is not related to RTA.
You are right, sir. You are right.
Okay, so interesting issue again cropped up before Supreme Court, that there were some enforcement agency like ED, CBI, some let's say investigating authorities like NIA, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. Nowadays we are seeing GST also. People are called for interrogation, they are beaten up, they are abused, under coercion, they have to sign some documents, they have to pay the tax. Many such issues have come. Now, Supreme Court has taken a very serious view. Supreme Court said that wherever there is an interrogation, wherever there is a recording of the statement, it has to be done in audio video means. There has to be a recording in audio and video both. It is not like that a camera is installed in the corner and the camera is not recording the audio. It has to be done, and it has to be not only done in police station, but for all the enforcement agencies. So this 6 months time has been given by the Supreme Court, and I am sure that most of the agencies have till date not complied with. In fact, this is a point which I suppose that should be raised if some authority has given you a notice and called you for interrogation or questioning. Then for that particular agency, you can file an RTA and ask whether you have complied with the para 19 of Paramveer Singh judgment of Supreme Court. If not, then please provide the audio and video infrastructure, and only then I will come. You can take this ground. In fact, suppose they have called you and there is no recording of that, you can also say that my statements recorded during the process, they cannot be accepted because maybe it is under undue influence, maybe it is under coercion, maybe it is unduly influenced by XYZ purposes, physically, mentally, whatever. So this is a very important judgment, and it can be used meticulously. As far as us chartered accountants are concerned, we might use it in income tax, GST or ED enforcement works, because nowadays what is happening, there is one culprit probably, and some of the innocent people are unnecessarily called and harassed. Therefore, this is an important judgment which I think everybody of us should read and analyze. And I also used this judgment in one of the customs matter where they were trying to derail the investigation, they were trying to derail the hearing by recording the acceptance of the party. So we particularly said that where is the audio video infrastructure and where is the recording. And mind it, whatever recording is done, it has to be maintained and protected by the authority for the period of 18 months. They have to keep it protected, they cannot destroy it. So this is an interesting judgment. Madhevji, next please.
Sir, can I ask one question here?
Yes, Chavda sir, please.
Sir, one of my client was going through this income tax assessment, sir.
Okay.
And we have asked for cross-examination. And everything was, sir, well discussed. Somebody has given PIL, asked for PIL, and we asked for cross-examination. And sir, my client had never taken money. That person was very clearly speaking before me that yes, I have kept some amount with him because I was having some security measures at my office. So, sir, he simply said that I have given that money to him to keep it with him for a couple of days or couple of weeks or so, and then later on I have taken it back. Then before the department, the same this cross-examination was taken care of. I was not present there, and ultimately when I have received the copy of cross-examination, sir, there was that they have asked the question that yes, you have given loan. So whole this section 269 SS and 3 had been triggered. So
Okay.
can we use this judgment there? They provided me that copy.
Sir,
This
you
is
can.
1 year back.
Okay, sir, at that point of time, have you raised objection that it is wrongly recorded?
No, sir.
So that will be a difficulty, because if today you say that it was wrongly recorded, and probably this is a fit case, you could have moved to High Court also under writ, because if there is a wrongful recording, there is only two ways: either go to a superior authority or directly to go to High Court and say that quash this proceeding because they are recording erroneously and it should be done in audio video means. Now this particular judgment, we can use it while recording statements when there is an interrogation. But if you see regular hearing, they have not specified. But in my view, you can request that in regular hearing also, applying this judgment, I want that audio and video infrastructure mechanism should be used and my proceeding should be recorded. In fact, recently there is one case where in case of dowry, husband has requested the higher court that please, I am ready to bear my cost. Please give it a audio video recording so that the authorities are not able to undue influence, because authority are wrongfully recording things. So probably you could have used it, but I am afraid because there is only 1 year gone already. So it will be difficult, because today if you go to court, probably the other side would argue that he is coming and now as an afterthought. It is not a bona fide person or a genuine person. But yes, if you are able to demonstrate that you were prevented by sufficient cause, like we have COVID and all. So if you can take that plea, probably your case might succeed. And a fresh hearing can be done, or a fresh recording of statements can be done.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir. So another important issue, and this I had used in one of the my CA friend case. The case was, there was a case where one pilot was working in Air India. Air India ultimately got merged into Indian Airlines because it was loss making, and most of the pilots were given retirement, voluntary retirement. Somebody were given compulsory retirement. Now their dues were pending and government did not have money to pay them. Now this is the hard reality, that government did not have money and therefore they were not paying. Now he was fighting for his dues, and every time they were saying, no, these dues are wrong, this is not correct. Let's assume that they were saying, he was saying 10 lakhs is due, they were saying only 5 lakh is due, but they were not giving in writing. What he did was, he filed an RTI. He filed an RTI and said that please provide me outstanding dues of my salary account number so and so. Simple. Now under RTI they have to reply. They will have to give some figure. So let's say they gave the figure of 5 lakh rupees, that this is outstanding. Now without objecting to the 5 lakh more which is outstanding, according to the captain, he was Captain Subodh Kumar, he said that 5 lakh is an acknowledged debt, undisputedly that is due. So he filed insolvency in NCLT against the Indian Airlines. You won't believe, within 7 days the matter got settled. Why? Because they were dilly-dallying, that they were not giving the response on time, they were not ready to pay. But once he triggered insolvency on the basis of RTI, they cannot deny that the information given under RTI is wrong. Because whatever information is given under RTI, it can be used as an evidence in court of law. It is an authentic information and nobody can deny that the information given under RTI was incorrect. Now, this particular thing I used in one of my CA friends' case. One of my friends, he did some audit for some government department, state of Gujarat only. Now the department actually gave him audit for 3 years. He completed first year audit, they gave him payment. On the same ground, he did the audit, started doing the audit of second year. But somehow their internal approval for the second year was put on hold because that department was getting merged in some another department. But he started his work. There was a concept of giving a preliminary audit report, and after findings were confirmed, then final report. When he gave the preliminary audit report, he came to know that probably they are going to discontinue, but they did not communicate him formally. He completed the audit, gave final audit report also, but they put their payment on hold, saying that we are not continuing with the third year and we have already stopped the working. He said, I have already done the work for second year. He wrote letters to them. They said, we are going to merge, therefore we will reply, we will give you some payment. His second year payment was not done. Obviously, third year they did not give him the access to books only, saying that we are not going to continue. Now for the second year, he had already worked, given preliminary report. Thereafter, he has given final report also. So as per the contract with the auditor, he has done his work. His payment was due and liable, but they were not replying, they were not responding, and he kept on writing letters. Now in good faith, first year payment he got after 2 years, and the second year payment was outstanding, and 1 more year passed. So he came to me almost at the end of 3 years and said that this is what has happened. I told that suppose we go today in the court, as per the Limitation Act, after 3 years, your civil dues will get 0. So you will get nothing. First of all, you don't argue with them. You just file an RTI. What is my accounts? What is my audit fee? What is the work I have done? What is the outstanding as on date? Simple. So you are asking for your basically account ledger in their books. Simple. Now, once you are asking the ledger, they will have to give you some ledger in writing. Once they give you ledger, it is a fresh acknowledgement of debt, And now 3-year time period freshly starts. So if somebody is giving you in writing under RTI that this is the money outstanding with them, that gives a rise to fresh acknowledgement, and you can go to court from the date you are getting the reply plus 3 years. So suppose I am getting the reply on 1st January 2021, I can go till 22, 23 and 24. So 3 years I have got fresh lease of life for moving a civil court. Normally under RTI, once you apply, they are bound to pay you because they will understand you are going to use this information probably in the court to get a direction that payment should be made. So this is how you can use RTI also to get the payment which is outstanding, probably with big companies or government departments. Madhevji, next please. So this is again my personal experience. What we had done was we had filed an RTI with the Ministry of Personnel. I tell you how the background was. Most of our chartered accountants who are also hearing me must have qualified this independent director exam. As per law, a company will have to have an independent director. If it is a listed company having higher turnover of 100 CR and all this loans and borrowings is more than this, turnover, profit, listed, all these parameters are there to have that independent director on board. I also qualified the exam and then thought that there were no openings coming for independent directors. So what is the reason? Let us find out whether the government is complying this law in the listed PSU or not. So I filed an RTI against the listed PSU, which is being controlled by Ministry of Personnel, that whether independent directors are appointed. If not appointed, whether there is a vacancy. If there is a vacancy for violation of law, is there any penalty imposed on the company by Bombay Stock Exchange, by National Stock Exchange? And you would be horrified to know that government on the one hand says that you follow the law. On the other hand, government themselves does not follow the law. You can see this is the table which I have got under RTI reply. And I am telling you this was covered in Economic Times also. Companies such as Bharat Dynamics, National Fertilizer, Power Finance Corporation, the penalties imposed are to the tune of 6 crore 29 lakhs. And this is only a sample of information which I have given. I have got so many RTI compilation. If you see, crores of rupees has been penalized on the PSU for not complying with the law of independent director. So in fact, government companies themselves are not complying with the law. On one hand, government is making law. On the other hand, they are themselves not complying with the law. Madhevji, next slide, please. See, this was only my 3-liner RTI, which resulted into reply for more than 6 months. I asked only for 3 information. First was, what are the number of vacancies of independent directors of PSU listed on Bombay Stock Exchange, and any latest data available. I gave a cutoff date so that tomorrow they may not say that you have not specified the period. Second, amount of penalty levied by Stock Exchange, SEBI, ROC with respect to non-appointment. And third is, what are the steps taken? You won't believe, when I got the answer, first and second, penalties have been enforced by Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange, but no penalty has been imposed by SEBI, no penalty has been imposed by ROC. I in fact filed an RTI also with ROC that why any penalty, whether any penalty has been imposed for violation. They said no. Answer in writing is no. Third, what steps have been taken? Steps taken, they all wrote letters and then those letters were given to me under RTI. So by filing an RTI, you are indirectly pushing the government department to comply with the law. Directly, they might not have complied with the law, but indirectly, we have pushed them by way of RTI to comply with this law. So this is how you can use this particular RTI also as a tool to make the government department work. Madhevji, next please. This again.
I think some network issue is there. This is another one example where this RTA was filed before this State Bank of India, and this is Nipun Bhai has filed this RTI, and where the willful defaulter list was asked by in the RTI, but this RTI was rejected by the State Bank of India. Then after, the appeal was filed by Nipun Bhai, and then the willful defaulter list was declared by the bank. I think he's joining. He will explain in a better way because his personal experience is there in this regard. So just we have to wait. I think some net issue or some issue is there. But friends, from my personal experience, I will always say is that whenever we are asking any information through the RTI, we should always be very specific, right? You must have seen in our examples, then whenever we sought any information, we ask for the particular period, right? We never say that please provide the information from this date or please provide the information. When we are asking the information without giving any specific things or specific time period, then you assume that they will not provide the information. So whenever we are asking the information, always mention the time period, that whatever the time period we are asking, so we will get the information. And specifically, अगर information में वो time नहीं मांगा गया है, तो आप 100% मान के चलिए कि information मिलेगा नहीं RTI में, right? And always, be careful when we are asking the information, हमको किस type की information मांगनी है. So that will give you the clear picture as far as this RTI is concerned. Another important another case which we were discussing about this Suresh Chandra Maniklal Dholakia. ये जो सुरेश चंद्र जी जो हैं, ये काफी RTI फाइल करते रहते हैं और इन्होंने इनके एक केस में RTI में जब इंफॉर्मेशन मांगा पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर से, तो वो इंफॉर्मेशन इनको दिया नहीं गया और अल्टीमेटली दैट पर्सन फाइल द रिट पिटिशन बिफोर द गुजरात हाई कोर्ट, और गुजरात हाई कोर्ट ने जो पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर है उसके ऊपर 25,000 रुपए की पेनल्टी लगाई, विच आई डिस्कस अर्लियर ऑल्सो. सो व्हेन द पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर इज नॉट गिविंग द इंफॉर्मेशन, राइट, ही कैन बी पेनलाइज. और ये जो 25,000 रुपए की पेनल्टी जो भरी है उन्होंने अपनी पॉकेट से भरी है. So another important, जब भी हम RTI अगर कोई एप्लीकेशन लगाते हैं, so we generally make a practice or we do one thing that we always quote this judgment in our RTI. तो जो पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफिसर है, अगर वो आपकी RTI को पढ़ेगा तो उसको ये पहले से समझ में आ जाएगा कि भाई ये जो पर्सन RTI फाइल कर रहे हैं, he is aware that अगर इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दी गई है तो उसका क्या कंसिक्वेंसेज होगा और उसके ऊपर किस प्रकार की पेनल्टी लग सकती है. So always when we are drafting the RTI, we should keep into the mind two things: that proviso to section 7, which says that life and liberty of the matter to provide the information in 48 hours. And another important part is that this judgment, where for denying the information or for delaying the information, penalty can be imposed on a public information officer. So that two things we always keep into our mind. Another example is there of this RTI, how we filed the PIL before the Honorable High Court of the Gujarat, that Nipunji has filed this PIL before the Honorable Gujarat High Court.
Madhyaji, voice is breaking.
You answer, so I think you can take from this SBI willful defaulter, and after this limit I explain penalty part. So you continue.
Madhyaji, I think your voice is breaking. Your connection is, I think, weak. So friends, this was an interesting RTI which we applied for appointment of tribunal members. What had happened was, in the RTI, we tried to actually ask what would be the correct position of tribunal, because what was happening under RERA Act, there has to be RERA tribunal which has to have 2 members, one judicial and one technical member as per the RERA Act. Now in the state of Gujarat, what they did was, rather than making the RERA tribunal, they actually designated this tribunal to Food Safety Tribunal, and it was only headed by one judge. So as per law, this was not correct. So we applied under RTI. What is the qualification of the judges to be appointed? Whether tribunal has been set up or not. We are aware that tribunal is not set up and they have already designated. So we asked for details of tribunal members, appointment details, and what is the process going on. Under RTI, we got all this information that they have not appointed anybody under RERA Act. The tribunal was designated and their process has also not started. So all this information, we got it under RTI. Thereafter, we filed a PIL before Gujarat High Court asking that, see, state government is not taking any action. RERA Act has come. It is almost more than 2 years, 2.5 years, I suppose, at that point of time. And therefore, court should interfere and the committee should take a call for appointment of tribunal members. Interestingly, law says that the person who are going to be appointed in the tribunal, they have to be appointed in consultation with Chief Justice of the High Court. So in our case, Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court has to have a committee. In that committee, there would be somebody from Law Ministry, somebody from Urban Development Ministry, and they all three will take a call, which is called Search cum Selection Committee, and finalize the name of the judges to be appointed in tribunal. Now, when this PIL was filed and the notice was issued to the government, instead of coming in the court, what they did was they issued advertisement in the newspaper that whoever wants to apply for the position of tribunal member may apply, and these are the criteria. Now see the mockery, and I would say the most interesting part. Law says it has to be done in consultation with Chief Justice. PIL is being heard by the Chief Justice, and he himself has not been consulted for giving this advertisement. So in the next hearing, before the next hearing, we moved a modification saying that, see, they have issued an advertisement again in violation of law. So Chief Justice actually got angry that how they are doing this work. They have not consulted us, and how can state government proceed by giving advertisement? And in the advertisement, they are saying that High Court judge should apply for the tribunal member. Whether a High Court judge would apply, is it an interview? Is it a job? So therefore, he became very angry, and thereafter they withdrew that advertisement, proceeded in accordance with consultation. And I must say that government, within a period, this petition was not more than 8 months in the court, immediately they appointed members. And our PIL was disposed of by directing that this is the infrastructure. A new office was given to the tribunal, new members were appointed, and 3 members got appointed. One, the retired Gujarat High Court Judge, Mr. Kothari, Honorable Justice Kothari, and then one Mr. Honorable Darbar, and now Mr. Mehrotra, who is the technical member. So I would say, and I would have this privilege most humbly, that by filing a PIL, we actually got tribunal for the state of Gujarat. And thereafter, we thought that when we are able to successfully get a tribunal in the state of Gujarat, why not we should also try for our state, our native place in Rajasthan also. So I filed a PIL again in Rajasthan, and importantly and interestingly, they also did the same thing, though it was not too much of time wastage there. And within a period of, I think, more 3 months, the matter, when it actually reached the hearing, they had already appointed the members. So if we are actually behind somebody, we want that the machinery should work, we can definitely make them work, maybe by starting an RTI, but finally maybe we will have to fight the case by way of writ or PIL in High Court or Supreme Court. But the RTI is the first step, the first beginning step, whereby we can do something for the society, maybe public at large. We are also, right now, what has happened, 3 members were appointed. Now, Mr. Kothari, who was the chairperson, the retired Justice of Gujarat High Court, he has again retired from tribunal because he had attained the age of retirement. Therefore, now again one seat is vacant in the RERA tribunal. We are still trying that particular position also gets fulfilled. But I still don't understand why government is not making the appointment on time. We have seen many of the tribunals, many of the court judges are not there. In fact, recently I just came to know that DRT, Debt Recovery Tribunal, where crores of rupees are stuck of government, they can easily enforce by selling the properties and getting money. DRT is having only one judge in Ahmedabad. There are 2 DRT benches in Ahmedabad. It is being run by only one judge. No, one judge comes, another judge retires. One judge comes, another retires. And this is going on not only for 1 year. It has been 10 years I am seeing this. So something has to be done. And probably if we keep on filing RTA and going to high courts or Supreme Court, this particular position will somewhat actually better. And as far as professionals like us are concerned, in technical member, we can also apply. Nowadays, all the tribunals are having 2 members, one judicial and one technical. So in technical members, chartered accountants are always qualified to become, whether it is income tax, GST, RERA, any law you take, chartered accountants are always there to be qualified as a technical member. Mahadev ji?
Yes.
Next, please.
I have net issue.
Acha, okay, no problem. You stop sharing, I will share.
Unable to move, sir.
No problem, I will do it. Okay, so I think this one more particular interesting aspect which I must tell everybody. Normally, whenever a complaint is filed in the police station, it either gets registered as an FIR or it gets closed down. If it is getting closed down, it will be a final report, closure report, what we normally call. And I think Vishalji, it is Form B. If it is closed report, it is Form B, right? So if suppose today you get a call from police station, you please come, there is a complaint against you. So as per law, you have to go there, cooperate with the police, give the statement, and it is possible that there is a wrong complaint filed against you. It is not an official complaint. Sometimes these particular things may happen. What is the best way? File an RTA and get the copy of the complaint filed against you. If that complaint is actually correct or it is making allegation, maybe incorrect facts, but making allegation, you might have to go for anticipatory bail on the basis of that. If it is closed, wrong complaint is filed, you can also file for defamation. So this is something very important. As per the Supreme Court judgment, within 24 hours, whenever an FIR is registered, any police station will have to put it on the website. So if you want to see all the FIRs in your registered police station, jurisdictional police station, you can online go and get the copy of the FIR. If FIR is not registered, and sometimes it happens, some wrong police officer, they might threaten you that there is an FIR against you and there is no actually FIR. Probably you need not worry. You tell him, you give me the FIR, you come and arrest me. If there is no FIR, online you can very well check now. There is no FIR, then there is just threatening. And you can very well take action against that police officer also. So this is very important judgment for all of you for FIR, which I wanted to discuss. Another experience I would say, which was we also filed a PIL against demonetization. Though the matter was not taken up, it is still pending in Supreme Court with the constitutional bench. Interestingly, after 18 months of demonetization, RTI reply reveals that the board of directors of RBI were not in favor of doing demonetization. And there was only one deputy governor who was aware about demonetization. Other governors, other directors were not even aware about this demonetization effect. And till date, I think there is no material effect which has come. So people like us should go and file RTI to get the information and hold the government accountable, whether they are taking any action from our money and whether it is good or bad for all of us. Now, ending with the case laws, I just wanted to show you the online RTI portal. You all can apply for RTI from the ease of your home. Only for central government, this website is only for central government department or central government authorities. So all the ministries are available online. All the departments, including income tax, GST, everything is available online. So you will just have to go on this website. Then you can see on the top, there is a submit request column. You click on the submit request. In the column down, you will have to select the ministry. Let's say I have to go for income tax department. So you can go for Ministry of Finance. Public authority will come Income Tax Department. Now Income Tax Department, it will come Delhi also, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, everywhere. So complete India will come in this drop down menu. You can select your jurisdictional officer. Same thing is with GST also. Same thing is with Environment and Forest, RBI, all those departments you can come and choose here. Next is you have to give your name, detail, gender and all. Then at the end, if you see text for RTI application, if you can type your RTI here, it is good. If you are not able to type, and then attach in this supporting document. So once you are attaching the RTI file, done. You can do it in 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 10 page. There is no limit. But if you type, there is a character limit of 300. So if your RTI is more, you just make it PDF and then attach it. You will get an OTP on your mobile, and thereafter you will have to pay 10 rupees online, and this RTI will be delivered on your email also and by physical post at your place also. And it is very fast, and you will also get the details of the grievance officer. So if you are not getting the reply of RTI within 30 days, you can also hold them accountable. So this brings us to the end of our session. And now the house is open for queries. We both are available for queries. Any queries, sir? Chawda sir, Romil ji?
In income tax, like in income tax scrutiny assessment, where can we like use the RTI? And particularly, there are cases like if I talk about one of the case wherein there were 3 owners for one land was there. So now what was there is like the land was very old land. So I gave for the same land same valuation was given, and all the 3 cases were getting assessed in Gandhinagar itself with a different ITO though, but under the same commissioner or same deputy commissioner. So for one of them, the valuation given by the valuer was accepted, and for the same valuation for the 2 other, it was rejected. However, the terms between 3 brothers were not good. So the brother whose case was got selected went through, didn't give the copy of or assessment order to his brother. So in this case, what we can do, like, can we request for the via RTI for the assessment order for his brother for the matter pertaining to same land, or what can we use the RTI in this matter, sir?
The land is having 3 partners, all 3 are brothers. What is the actual nexus of all the 3 brothers with the land?
All 3 are brothers, sir. Yes.
No. What is the relationship of land with the brothers? Whether it is an ancestral property divided in 3 of them?
Ancestral property.
Okay, so you are saying that there was a common land which was divided between 3 brothers. Okay, then as I told you, the judgment of husband and wife. Chintan bhai, some disturbance is coming from your side.
Yes, sir. There could be some.
Okay, please mute your mic so that disturbance does not come. See, if there is a common grievance, just like I told you in husband and wife case, or brother, sister, father, son, any issue with regard to the same cause of action, you can very well ask the copy of their return and the details submitted by them. In fact, if you are having a ground, you can also get a legal notice issued by any of your advocate. If you hire, you can send a legal notice asking them to give the document. If they do not give, then they give that legal notice copy to your ITO, your assessing officer, saying that, sir, see, these documents are there with him. You can call for him. I have already issued a legal notice, but he is not cooperating. You can use your power and get those documents and assessment order, which might be helpful in this particular assessment. So this is one way of doing it. Second way of doing it is, if you really have time and if it is not stuck up in scrutiny, you can also go and file a civil case in civil court asking for production of document regarding the same land, papers with respect to your brother's assessment. You can go and ask for directions for production of those documents. Yes, sir. Any other query?
Sir, under RTI, we will not get that information from department.
Sir, I have told you under RTI, we will have to see, just like in case of mother, father, brother, if there is a nexus, you can show from the document there was a nexus. Let's
And
say
if-
there was the same property, you have
And
got it
if-
by will. So there is a single document, you all three have got it. Correct. So now the cause of action is same. And under RTI also you can get those documents. But for
Even-
getting the document under RTI, you will have to satisfy the PIO, Public Information Officer of Income Tax Department, that it is arising of the same cause. He has to understand that. If he does not understand, then you will have to go to appellate proceeding also. But for this, ITO will not wait, because he will say, I have a time bound manner of assessment. For getting a stay on this particular proceeding, you will have to go to a civil court saying that these documents should be produced. Only then I will be able to submit before Income Tax Department.
Oh,
So matter is in appeal, so we can get it even via, we can try via RTI also, like.
Yes, I am telling you, you can try both RTI also and civil court also. If you try via RTI and then he does not reply, you can annex that RTI in your appeal proceeding also and tell to the court that, see, this PIO is not giving me document, but these are relevant for my assessment.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Any other query, sir? Chavda ji?
no, sir. I think
GST also, like
Uh,
in GSTR, if something, then the credit given, to us. So can we file an RTI like that? What are the actions that is being taken by the department also against that particular seller dealer who has not filed his RTI? RT means Form 2A, in which he has not shown these details. So can we use that RTI, and then can we
See,
get
then
some
I will suggest,
relief or
don't
like,
go first for RTI. First make a representation to the tax officer that, see, he has not filed return. Please take action against so and so. Okay, first give a representation. Then you file an RTI. What is the status of my representation? Whether any actions has been taken on my representation? If so, please provide me the copy of documents. Directly you will not have to file RTI, because first you will have to request him that please take some action. Then you ask that, sir, what is the status of my request?
sir, law is an art, and
Yes.
which is very much digested by you, sir.
Correct, sir.
Really. Chintan bhai, let's have a vote of thanks, sir.
I am trying. No issue. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, and thank you, Mahadev Birla, sir. हमको बन्ने faculties are considered to be very good faculty. I have heard Mahadev sir and Nipun sir earlier also on RERA also. So they are master for the RERA also, and like they are delivering very good lectures at the institute and India levels also. So it is a matter of proud for us also that this high level deliver lecture at circle. So on behalf of all the members of circle, I am thankful to Mahadev Birla sir and Nipun sir, and thanks for such a useful lecture. And particularly this lecture personally also helpful to me a lot, and I am sure that it will be very useful to all the members also. And I request that whenever you have time, and we know that you are you must be very busy in your
Very
professional
busy.
schedules, but
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but Chintan bhai, to contact him, WhatsApp is the only remedy. Because they have to do hard work for High Court. So but it is very well experienced that when I put a WhatsApp, sir is always replying whenever he is available.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
But
everyone,
sir,
for calling us and for patient hearing, especially Chavda sir. Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Chavda sir. Thank you, all the office bearer and all the friends. Thank you for patience hearing.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Nipun bhai. Thank you, Mahadev ji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. ના ઉડાડો તો ભાઈ થાકી ગયો કંટાળી ગયો તૂટી ગયો